Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I was very interested listening to Mr. Warbacher's questioning about responsibility in NOAA versus NASA. And Mr. Warbacher and I don't always agree on things, but I think his line of questioning is one I have as well, which is if we are going to look at NOAA to be our lead in the science of all of this, maybe we ought to think about vesting more completely the responsibility with you instead of having you ask your brother agency, and I'm not sure that's going to lead to what we really want. I guess that would be my statement rather than a question. I won't put you on the spot. When you think about the history of what's gone on, I mean, it was really in 2005, I think, that the cost overruns were so outrageous that they really they triggered the Nunn-McCurdy program breach review, and at the time we had a Republican president and a Republican committee, and even the leadership of this committee couldn't get the attention of the president at that time. And when you think about that to where we are today, we've made tremendous progress. Doesn't mean we have to be satisfied with where we are. I don't think anyone is. I'm not hearing that from any of the witnesses. But we have made tremendous progress, and we've got to make more. Here's the question. It's easy for us in the Congress to look at the administration, whether of either party, and complain. But sometimes we need to turn the attention on ourselves. And so this is the question for you, if you can answer. We have not had stable funding because of our inability to appropriate in the normal course of business. How would a continuing resolution, if that is what we end up with again this year, impact your programs? Dr. Sullivan and Mr. Watkins, if you could answer that, it would be very helpful.
Thank you, Ms. Lofgren. I appreciate your remarks and your question. With respect to a continuing resolution, one big item that would concern me there is FY13 is when GOES-R has a scheduled budget bump in order to accommodate purchase of a launch vehicle. So if we're unable to proceed with the launch vehicle scheduling and acquisition, that could compromise schedule. With respect to JPSS, if we were held on a continuing resolution at the appropriated level of the FY12 plan, that's in line with what we have come forward for in the President's budget. So I would forecast, with the same caveats of forecast, less impact on JPSS, but an impact of concern on GOES-R.
The only thing that I would add to that is that with respect to the GOES-R program, currently we're at a budget in this fiscal year at 615. We're planned to be increased to 803. And so if we were actually under a continuing resolution that went beyond the first quarter of the fiscal year, it would begin to have severe negative impacts to the cost and the schedule, specifically the GOES-R mission. And so a continuing resolution hurts us a lot more in the GOES-R program.
So if we do that, what I'm hearing is that it could end up costing us more, assuming we continue with both program efforts down the line. And if we didn't, I mean, this is a lot of money. I mean, where I come from, this sounds like a lot of money. And yet, when you think about what's going on in terms of very severe weather impacts, what was there, $60 billion in fiscal year 2011 on dramatic events. And I guess my question is, maybe you can't answer. If you can get a 10 or 15% increase in damage for lack of warning, I mean, have you done an analysis of what kind of warning leads to what kind of decrease in damage on the ground, if it's a hurricane or if it's a tornado or if it's whatever kind of event?
Ms. Lofgren, we've not seen any rigorously evaluated economic studies that make that trace all the way through improvement of a warning, improvement of a forecast, to improvement of a warning, to improvement of the human response to that warning. So I can't give you a well-vetted figure.
Well, maybe that's something we ought to ask the postdocs of the world to take a look at, but we do know just anecdotally that adequate warning in Tornado Alley made a huge difference in terms of loss of life. And it would be good to have some analysis, because if we're talking, or 10 or 15% reduction in loss on a $60 billion figure, that's way more than we're talking about to create the warning. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I think my time has expired, and I would yield back.